they'll ground bounce further, so you can do things kind of like that. So jabbed at 0, because if they get jabbed, you carry them into the death box, and they die. And that's how I do it for Garnet's 4 there. As you can see, like, things like that, like, really, really crazy. Like, what's up, gamers? So today we're actually going to be doing my first Multiversus guide, and I wanted to do one for Finn. But then I bought Garnet, because I think Garnet was probably my second most played character, from the beta. And oh my gosh, the changes with her are absolutely amazing. It's kind of like if you played her in the first beta, everything that you would think would work in the first beta, but it kind of didn't work, simply because of dodge momentum and things like that, unless hit stun didn't work, so you're kind of doing it read based. Well, now they just kind of work, and she just has like crazy ways to destroy your opponent, like when they're in burnout. So I figured my first Multiversus guide will be with the amazing Garnet. Absolutely love playing Garnet in the beta, and I absolutely enjoy playing her even more now. This character is absolutely crazy. Don't know who at the studio thought her being able to do everything that she does now is okay, but she still hits really, really hard. That was kind of her thing in the beta. She just kind of hit really, really hard. Also, her jab having armor on it. That was one of the big things about her. As you've been playing, I'm pretty sure you've noticed that jabs, you get a lot of things out of jabs now. Like a lot of characters have like jabs into like up tilts and up attacks and things like that. Garnet is no different, and that's the thing that makes her crazy, because her jab has always been really, really nuts. They've also kind of like buffed forward air 1, so you get some crazy things from forward air 1 also. So I'm going to show those things off in the video, give a description of her moves and things like that, and hopefully you gamers enjoy. Alright, so the first thing, let's look at her move list, because I want to explain her passive. So, Garnet's passive, she kind of has 2 passives, but they both kind of do the same thing. So, Garnet's passive, which is Stronger Than You, which is her neutral special, she basically puts a sing bubble around herself, and she gets stacks of rhythm. So, the sing bubble also reflects projectiles that get knocked at her. So like you can kind of put a sing bubble, block projectiles in whichever direction Garnet hits them in, they'll go flying in that direction. So she's also like an up close character with the way they deal with projectiles. Also having stats of rhythm, the first stat gives her more movement speed, which is also really good because she's kind of a big character. As you know, like without dodge like momentum in this game, a lot of characters are pretty slow, so always having more movement speed is pretty good. And having 2 stacks allows her melee attacks to just straight up break armor. And that's all her melee attacks. So she doesn't really have to focus on armor break attacks. And this is basically her neutral special. As you see, she kind of like dances. That puts on the stats of rhythm. You have 2 stats of rhythms. When her gauntlets are glowing, that's when she has armor break on all her melee moves. And when it's up to 1 stack of rhythm, she gets basically more movement speed. So I basically want to explain that passive before I explain anything else. So we'll talk about her specials off rip. Like I said, neutral special, she basically dances within this bubble. If a projectile hits this bubble, you can basically reflect it. It basically stops projectiles. You don't even have to reflect it. You basically stop it and they become yours. Very, very good for dealing with projectile heavy characters. Her up special is basically like a power gauntlet up, but also her up special on the ground, she shoots out a beam, and then once the beam is out, as you can see, like it's on cooldown, you get this move right here. And this move is absolutely crazy. It's basically like an upwards clap. It has a hitbox on both sides. As you can see, it kind of like pulls into the upwards hitbox. That right there also has a hitbox and it stuns, and after a while it will explode. Also, as you can see right there, it explodes. Another thing about this is this is one of Garnet's best kill moves. This move itself is absolutely nuts. Another thing I want to note is when you're standing in this, you get static gauntlets, basically giving your moves more hit stun on hit while she has those gauntlets. Also, hitting opponents with this up special puts static on them, which basically gives this move a little bit more damage. So that's kind of like okay with that move. But the thing about this move is a really, really strong kill move. It's kind of stale now because I've been spamming it. But the thing is you can get this move, the upwards clap, from jab. So that kind of like gives her like a guaranteed kill combo at those higher percentages. I mean, even at lower percentages, if you're up close to an opponent, you can combo I keep getting dash attack. You can combo jab into the electric blast off the rip to like get like a stun and like get jab extensions. Let me see if I can show that off. So you could do things kind of like that at lower percentages, which is really, really good. So that means you can chain together a lot of like Garnet specials just from her jab. And I'll show those off when once I explain her other specials. So her side special is the gauntlets. As you can see, you fire out the gauntlets and she can control which direction they fly. They fly for a very far distance. They also have pretty good knockback. The thing about the gauntlets is once they're out or they're on cooldown, you get this shoulder tackle. Now this shoulder tackle is kind of crazy also. She had this in the beta. It wasn't that good. You would just kind of like use this to get in. It didn't have much knockback. You would use it to get in on opponents that were like kind of away from you, so you would shoulder tackle in into jab. But they've added more knockback to it. So at lower percentages, you could do things like jab, side special, jab, side special, jab, side special, kind of like that, to like get those crazy chains. And the CPU is set to dodge after hit stun. So in order for your opponents to get out of those situations, they have to DI down in a way, because the side special kind of like knocks away from you, like downwards. That's how they get out of it. But a lot of people hold in, especially in 2v2s. Like a lot of people are just trying to survive. So it kind of like gives you those crazy extended combos. And like mid percentages, you can still get like, I keep getting dash attack. You can still get jab into side special, but it starts to launch even further, as you can see right there. So you'd have to throw in like a dodge cancel to keep up with them. But it also sets up for very good situations. Like, because you can even do things like side special to even get a kill. Because like I said, it has pretty good knockback. So Garnet's side special mixed together with her jab, I mean technically all her specials mixed together with her jab, gives her some pretty crazy things. Even some pretty crazy extensions that are kind of like jab, side special, jab, side special, jab, up special, jab. Kind of like things like that. So it's very good. And her moves, her jab is just very good now. Combined together with like being able to like link her specials into it, you just kind of like get these crazy combo extensions just kind of like that. So Garnet's jab into her specials are going to be very good. So Garnet's down special, she basically sets up a star. And what she does is, if you press down special again, she'll teleport to this star and knock opponents in the direction that she flew. This also goes on cooldown, and sadly when this move goes on cooldown, you don't get a new move instead. You just kind of don't get to use your down special anymore. That's just kind of about it for this move. So you don't get like a cool shoulder tackle or like a cool up clap or anything like that. Once again, this move can also be comboed from her jab. So you can do things like, once you kill an opponent, you can run off, set this off on the edge, and then hit an opponent in a jab combo and do things like that. So that was kind of like something that a lot of good Garnet players would do in the beta. They would like kind of like jump all the way down, set it down, set up the star down at the bottom of the screen, kind of like that. And then when the opponents come back at 0, they would just kind of like jab them, take them down to the bottom of the screen, and kind of throw them off the wall, kind of like that. Sets up for really good edge guards. Another good thing about this special is really crazy, but if you jump and set this up in the death box, and then I dash attack, but you jab someone and carry them into the death box, you basically get a free kill, kind of like that. And that's really crazy. I mean, I was hit with that also. It's just basically a free kill. You just basically jump off, jump into the death box, set this up, make sure you make it back, and then your opponent has to be afraid of getting jabbed at 0, because if they get jabbed, you carry them into the death box and they die. And that's basically about it. That's another that's probably one of the craziest things with this down special. You just kind of like cheese kills out that way. So that'll do it. That's her up special, both versions. Side specials, both versions. Her down special and her neutral special. And like I say, since you can chain these specials from her jab into up special, like cooldown up special is going to be very good for getting those kills, because up special kills like around 100. It's a very good kill move for her to have. And side special just kind of like combos and sets up situations like from jab to like basically like low to like medium percentages. I mean, you can even get like chain combos like off the stage by going like jab, side special into like down there, kind of like that. Like very, very good for her to have. Like Garnet is absolutely crazy now. So that'll do it for all her specials. Let's go into her attacks. So Garnet's attacks are very, very good. They're very big. In the open beta, they were like very strict, so the hitboxes weren't that huge. Now the hitboxes on them are absolutely crazy. Garnet's hitboxes are pretty wild. So we'll just go and start with her neutral attack, which is just a punch. Now if you hold this, it gets armor and it does more knockback. And as you can see, it also kills. Garnet can kind of do this with a lot of her attacks. I want to say all of her attacks she can charge them, except for like her aerials, but all her grounded attacks, I feel she can charge them. But basically, you hold it long enough, you get armor, you get the punch. Another thing is at higher percentages, you can even do jab, and jab will start to ground bounce, so you can do jab into neutral punch, which is a very good, it's kind of like a good mix-up. I still prefer jab into up special, because it relies on you getting the neutral punch, relies on you getting that ground bounce from jab. So I still prefer jab into up special for like getting kills, because this is just more consistent. It happens whether you get the ground bounce or not. But this does combo from jab when you get that ground bounce. It happens when your opponent is like DIing down, they kind of like get knocked downwards. So that'll do it for her neutral punch. Her forward attack is basically her jab. Everyone remembers Garnet's jab, everyone hated this jab, because I believe in the beta, this had armor on it, so a lot of Garnets would just kind of like jab, and just kind of like spam jab, and it still has that same like crazy knockback, and it still can get kills. So like the thing about this now is, all the other portions of jab technically leads to like something different. So if you didn't know what Garnet's jab, you could just hold forward and mash it, or you can hold forward and then press up and jab. So her jab is basically two presses. So 1, 2. You can go 1 up, 1 down, and then 1 forward for that one. So Garnet basically has 3 jabs. The down one knocks at her downwards angle at lower percentages, and the up one knocks up for some pretty good juggle situations at lower percentages. Very, very good to like mix up your opponent's DI if they're like predicting you to go for a specific way. So like if you're looking to like juggle opponents, you can go do things like kind of like that to set them up for like a situation where you can just kind of like mash jab again. You can even go jab up into up tilt, kind of like that at lower percentages to like set up juggle situations. Just very, very good if you're trying to like end up with those juggle situations. You can end up jab with the upward version. The downward version, like I said, is good for people that are holding down and away, but you'll usually want to end up with the upwards version. So you can do things like jab into dash into the upward version. Oops, I did up special, but jab into the upward version to set up for those like basically those follow-ups or those good setup situations, kind of like that. And being able to follow up with off Garnet's jab is very, very good at those lower percentages. At higher percentages, you kind of won't get anything because your opponents will get knocked too high. They'll have the chance to dodge out of it. But at lower percentages, it's very, very good. Even if you buffer, you kind of won't get up there in time. Your opponents will be able to move out of the way. So that'll do it for her jab. Like I said, at lower percentages, you want to go with the upwards version. So you'll want to do things that's kind of like jab, side, oops. You want to do jab, side special, jab, knock up, into like jump forward air and things like that. So very, very good for like comboing at those lower percentages. Very good for setting up for those, like those juggle situations. Garnet's jab is just very, very crazy. And then the fact that you can just kind of like roll cancel into this and get things off of it is what makes Garnet like really, really crazy. Like Garnet's jab is absolutely nuts. It's always been really good, and it's just even better now since we basically have like the jab hit stun changes. It's just being able to roll into jab up special and get kills like around 100, like even early on lighter characters, is very crazy. Definitely makes her a threat on the ground. So that'll do it for her forward attack. So Garnet's ground attack. Garnet's ground attack, she basically sends like a shockwave across the ground and it knocks opponents towards you. As you can see, kind of like that. It knocks them towards you, also hits them with the shock status, which basically means they take more hit stun. To basically set up for like your combos and things like that. Also very good. Another thing about this is it puts opponents above you, so you can do things like down attack into up special, kind of like that. As you can see right there, very good. It's a very good edge guarding tool because Garnet's downer is really strong, but it's pretty slow, and so you can kind of like stand at the edge here and do this to bring opponents towards you. Also combos into her up attack, as you can see, but it also combos into jab. It just combos into some pretty crazy things, and just being able to stand a distance from your opponent, pull them towards you, is just very good. Like, you can pull them towards you in the side special, you can pull them towards you into forward air 1. Oops, didn't charge it long enough. Kind of like that. It's just really good. And then Garnet's forward air 1 is also really crazy because you can do things like forward air 1 into up special, or you can do things like forward air 1 into up air. So basically pulling enemies towards you into like these confirms that Garnet has is very crazy. As you can see right there, like Garnet is pretty nuts once she gets those hits off, and she has ways to get those hits off from like a distance. So you don't even have to like break the zone with jab. You can just kind of like spam down special and see if it hits. If it hits, you get the follow-up. And you just kind of go in, like your opponents have to dodge through you, and it's okay if they dodge through you, because even if they dodge through you, your Garnet, you just kind of like get back on them like that. Like Garnet is very crazy, like once she gets the momentum going. So that'll do it for down. Oh, another thing about down special is I believe this also, when it's fully charged, I believe it breaks armor. So if you kind of like have somebody that's charging like an armor move, you can just kind of like fully charge this to like catch them from a distance. That's also really good. So that's side attack, up attack, down attack. Oh, we haven't talked about up attack. So Garnet's up attack is 2 punches upwards. Very straightforward, nothing too crazy. It's pretty slow. Like you can't do things like jab into up because you have to do jab, wait, and then do up. So you don't get the uppercut, so you have to like jab. See, it's a very tight window, and your opponent can basically like dodge out of it. So you can't really get this from jab. What does lead to this is, like I say, down attack, which pulls them towards you. Another thing about this is she has 2 versions. She has the regular up version, and then she has the fully charged version, which is basically 3 hits. And if you catch somebody with the fully charged version, they get knocked up even higher. As you see, it's not that strong of a kill move, not as strong as that move right there. So you won't really be using this move a lot because it takes you a while to get to that fully charged version, because it has to be the fully charged version. If it's not the fully charged version, you won't get that 3rd hit. So a lot of the times you'll be using that version right there to basically like combo off of like down tilt, well, down attack, to do things like that. So that'll basically do it for this. I remember in the beta that move used to be extremely strong, and I think it had armor on it also. But now you'll kind of use it at a down attack to like lead up to like those confirms and like those juggle situations. And that'll really just about do it. It does reach up pretty high. So like if you feel like an opponent's gonna like jump above you, you can read them with this. But the hitbox is about the same as this. It's a lot more active than this, but if you're going for a kill, that's definitely a lot better. You'll probably want to use the charge down, the cooldown up special if you're going for like a jump read or something. So that's neutral attack, forward attack, down attack, and up attack. So let's talk about Garnet's aerials, because Garnet's aerials weren't really that good in the beta. So we'll start off with Garnet's neutral air. So Garnet's neutral air is one of her best like charging aerials, and basically as you can see, she charges and then she basically like stretches out all limbs in a hit. Each limb has its own individual hitbox. So like the legs, they'll hit and knock downwards, as you can see like Shaggy's getting spiked, and then the fist will knock upwards. So each limb has its own individual hitbox that knocks in a direction. The thing about Garnet's neutral air in this game now is that it combos reliably. Like, it's a very, very good combo tool. Depending on if you hit them down, as you can see right there, you can just kind of like land and just kind of go off, kind of like that. Like, you could throw it out before you hit the ground, get forward air 1, and then like get jab combos. Even at higher percentages, they get knocked up, or the ground bounce further, so you can do things kind of like that. So like, as you can see, like, it's a lot better combo tool now. You get more off of approaching with it. Like, the fact that it just kind of like sets up in that situation for you to hit like those jab combos, which I've already shown is like pretty crazy from Garnet because of her jab, is very, very good. You just get like, see like follow-ups and things like that. Very, very good. Like, Garnet's there is a lot better than what it used to be. So that'll do it for Garnet's Nair. Also on the ledge, since it does spike down, this is a very, very good spike. I got the artwork hitbox, but it's a very good spike because it'll knock opponents downwards, like at an angle, instead of knocking them straight down where they could grab the wall. But it'll knock down at an angle. So it's a very, very good like spike when your opponents are like trying to get back on the stage. A very good spike move to use. It lingers, it stays out for a while. Just kind of like throw it out. You can even float towards the edge and do it like that to like hit them and like knock them downwards. Or you can even like jump and float off the cliff with it. If I can get off the stage and float off the cliff with it and do that, because then your opponent like can get hit with either hitbox and they're not sure which hitbox they're going to get hit with, because you don't even know and you're the Garnet player. So you just kind of like jump off stage with it, hit opponents. You can maybe spike them, wall spike them, or things like that. Very, very good in there. And like I said, very good for comboing, very good for like openings, things like that. Just a very, very good Nair. They definitely made it better. So that'll do it for Garnet's like neutral air. Let's talk about her forward air. So Garnet's forward air is 2 punches. 1, 2. Very, very good. The thing about this forward air now is forward air 1 is absolutely nuts. So you can do things like forward air 1 into up air. As you can see right there, you can do things like forward air 1 into up special, which is really, really crazy. So you can use forward air 1 for some crazy extensions. Like, you can go forward air 1 jab, kind of like that, which allows you to space with forward air 1, so you can like jump and fade back with forward air 1, because it's still like forward air 1 has a lot of hit stun. You can even do things like forward air 1 into side special. Let me see if I can forward air 1 side special, kind of like that, for like off stage shenanigans. You can even do, I showed forward air 1 into up special, kind of like that. Another big one is the forward air 1 into up air, because Garnet's up air is really strong. So like, you could do forward air 1 into some crazy things because it's got so much hit stun. You can't do it into down air, or you can't do it into neutral air because they have such like long startup. But being able to like combo like forward air 1 into jab, like just being able to like jump back, space forward air 1, get a jab off of it, and get so much is absolutely crazy. Like, it's really, really good for Garnet to like get stuff like that off of her forward air 1, considering the fact that the side tackle leaves people aerial. So you can do things like jab, side tackle, forward air 1, side tackle, like into the death box. Very, very good. Garnet is very, very crazy right now. She doesn't kill as easier. It takes a little bit more work. You don't get kills as easy as just like mashing out jab. You kind of like have to get like those extensions, kind of like forward air 1 into like side special and things like that, or basically like jab into side special because the launch on it is really crazy, or mainly just kind of like jab into up special. But that's Garnet's forward air 1. The second hit of forward air just hits really, really hard. It's a really, really hard move. Has a lot of launch to it. Very good at getting those kills. A very good move to just kind of like throw out if you're like predicting where your opponent's going to go and you think they're going to like try and come past you. You can just kind of like forward air 1 and then throw out forward air 2 to see if it hits. Very, very good for Garnet to be able to do this. As you can see right there, and the hitbox is huge. Garnet's hitboxes are huge now. They're a lot bigger than they were before. So like, Garnet's hitboxes are very, very generous. They're not as strict as they used to be. Very, very generous hitboxes. So that'll do it for forward air. Just remember, forward air 1 extensions are a real thing. They do help. They do help and they do work. You just kind of like catch opponents at the wrong situation, and it just kind of like explode. And you can like even do chain like combos at like medium percentages, like when your opponent is like burned out. So like doing forward air 1 extensions when your opponent is burned out is going to be really good. And also catching opponents in the sky with like forward air 1 into up air is going to be very good at the top of the screen when your opponent is like basically about to die from an up air, which Garnet's up air is really strong. It's very, very good. So that'll do it for Garnet's forward air. As you can see, like things like that, like really, really crazy. Like Garnet's got some crazy stuff. She's got a lot that is also pretty hard to like kind of think about all of it and just remember it in a match. But so that'll do it for Garnet's forward air. Let's talk about Garnet's up air. So Garnet's up air is 2 punches upwards. You can like kind of like float down with it. Very, very good for like juggling situations because you can do it, jump out of it, and then basically like do another aerial. As you can see, like very good for juggling situations. Another thing you could do is like you could do full up air into forward air into up air into up air, kind of like that. You can do things like that. You can do falling, basically like falling up air, forward air, up air. You can do like falling up air, side special. You can do falling up air into up special. Just like she's got some crazy things like off of falling up air in general. Because falling up air is just very, very good. Very crazy. Also at those higher percentages, up air will start killing. I had to forward air 1 but didn't do up air. But at higher percentages, her up air will start killing. It's also a very, very good kill move. As you can see, like the launch is going pretty high. So like up air will start killing. So it's also a very good juggle move. Also a very good kill move. As you can see right there, very good at juggles. Very good at like mixing up your opponent's DI. Like Garnet's up air is like really, really crazy. A lot of Garnet's moves are like really, really crazy now. So that'll do it for up air. That's really just about it. A very, very good kill move at like higher percentages. At lower percentages, it's a very, very good juggle move. And in order to hit this on the ground, you just have to do it and fast fall into it. Multiversus has a thing where like if you fast fall an aerial that you're already doing, you don't stop doing that aerial. So since it's 2 hits, if you do it in fast fall, Garnet will just continue to up air. So just like up air and fast fall, and that's basically how you get that up air. As you can see right there, very, very good for Garnet to have. So that'll do it for Garnet's up air. Let's talk about Garnet's down air. So Garnet's down air is really, really strong. So a lot of people's favorite move with Garnet, it just hits extremely hard. It spikes down, but also the spike on the stage is very good because the spike on the stage sets up for some pretty good combos. So like you hit it and you just kind of like go up with up air. The hitbox is also very, very like far below her, as you can see, so you don't have to be exactly on the opponents to hit it. You can kind of be above them and just kind of like throw it out, so it can be like higher for those extensions if you hit it on the stage. But off the stage, it is a very, very strong down air. Like it just hits down really hard. But on the stage at lower percentages, it leads to some pretty crazy combos, some pretty crazy juggle situations simply because it leads to up air. So you can like do down air into up air, and I've already shown like the change you can get off of up air or even off of up tilt. So you can do like down air, up air, into another up air. You can do things like down air into, I want an up special. You do things like down air into up special, kind of like that. At certain percentages, you can even get down there to like forward air. Just a very, very good move. You'll mainly be using this when your opponents are like on the edge of the stage to basically like get the down air on the edge of the stage and spike them down. And as you can see, it's also a pretty good kill move at higher percentages. Very, very good move. As you can see, you can get down there into the clap, which I've already stated is a very strong move. Just kind of like down there into forward air. Get down there into like forward air into up air. Just very, very crazy. Garnet's got some crazy strings, and like if your opponent's in burnout, they're like in a lot of, they have to be worried about a lot of situations, kind of like that. Very, very crazy. It makes sense though, she is pretty slow. That's why you do have to like rely on having like the one note sing buff, so it can be a little bit faster. As you see, she's not that much faster, but it helps to have it. And then you can also like refresh it. You don't have to do the entire scene. Like you can just kind of like tap it, and when it flashes, it refreshes. So basically, you just kind of like get the chance, knock an opponent off stage, refresh, and that's how you'll like keep that sing buff up. Very, very good. But that'll do it for Garnet's down air. We talked about up air, neutral air. We talked about side air. So that'll do it basically for Garnet. Like I said, Garnet's attacks are pretty big. They're pretty huge. She's got some pretty good strings. If you want to keep it for bases, basically at 0% and lower percentage, technically at any percent, you always just want to go for like jab into like side special. That's what I use a lot, jab into side special, because it leads to some pretty crazy things. As you can see right there, just jab into side special is just really, really good. And if your opponents are like at the 100% mark where jab into like side special isn't working anymore, you can always just kind of like go jab into up cooldown up special, and basically like set off some pretty crazy combos. Garnet's pretty nuts. I'm not gonna lie, she's actually pretty wild. I don't think they thought her comboing like her side special from her jab would be that big of a deal, but it actually is a really, really big deal. It makes for some pretty crazy combos. And like I said, those higher percentages when you can't get combos off a side special anymore, you basically just put the up special on cooldown, and you basically just get jab into up special. Like, so that'll really just about do it. Like, Garnet's kill options are pretty crazy, and she's a very strong combo character. Really, really like that for her now. I've been playing her a lot. Really enjoy playing her. And that'll do it for Garnet gamers. So if this guy helped you out, leave a like, comment, subscribe down below. Also, if I missed something, let me know. I'll catch you gamers in the next one. Bye.